If you feel like you're running in circles, I've been there too. It's frustrating, isn't it? You put in the time, the effort, the energy, but no matter how hard you try, it feels like you're stuck. And in that moment when things aren't moving forward, it's easy to think that maybe you're just unlucky, or maybe success is only for a select few. But let me tell you, luck isn't the issue here. You're not missing out on some cosmic blessing. You're missing the right strategy, the right mindset, the right plan. Success doesn't just fall into your lap. You have to create it, and that begins with a shift in your approach. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it feels overwhelming at times. But it's okay to feel frustrated. It's part of the process. But here's the truth. It's not okay to stay frustrated. Feeling stuck is a signal, a wake-up call, not a death sentence. Every challenge you face is an opportunity in disguise. And while you're sitting there feeling like you're running in circles, there's a shift happening right now. By the time you finish listening to this, you'll have the tools to break free from this struggle. The missing piece will be clear, and with that clarity, you'll know exactly how to move forward. The truth is, struggling doesn't mean you're failing. Struggling doesn't mean you've reached the end of the road. It's just a part of the process. It's not the destination, it's a stepping stone on your path to success. So stop making excuses. Stop blaming the world, your past, or your circumstances. They're not holding you back. You are. But guess what? You have the power to change that. You've always had the power. The moment you choose to take control and take ownership of your journey, everything shifts. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more hoping that someone else will step in and make it all better. It's time for you to take charge. Now, you've been working hard, but let me ask you something. Have you been working smart? Are you focusing on the right things? Are you actually moving forward, or are you just spinning your wheels? The truth is, you can be grinding away all day long and still be stuck. Why? Because you're not always focused on the right things. It's not just about the effort, it's about the strategy you're using. If you've been grinding without a clear direction or without taking smart strategic actions, you're not going to see the results you want. The grind is important, but it has to be accompanied by focus, by strategy, by purpose. Struggling doesn't define you. How you respond to the struggle does. Struggling is inevitable. It's part of the game, but it's not the struggle that will make you successful. It's what comes after the struggle. It's what you do when things get tough. You have two choices. You can stay stuck. You can let the struggle defeat you, or you can use it as fuel. Use it to push harder, to learn, to grow, to evolve. This is where the magic happens. This is where you rise, and this is where you see the transformation that leads to success. You're not alone in this. Look at the greats. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Oprah was told she wasn't cut out for TV. Every one of them faced adversity, struggled, failed, and yet they kept going. They didn't let the struggle stop them. Instead, they let it shape them. It became part of their success story, not the end of it. Their struggles were the raw materials of their future triumphs. Your struggles can be the same. They don't have to define you. They're just part of your journey. They're part of the success story you're writing, even if you can't see it yet. Let's get real for a second. If you've been stuck in the struggle for a while, it's probably because there's something holding you back. And it's not bad luck. It's fear. Fear is the thing keeping you stuck. It's fear that stops you from taking risks, from stepping outside your comfort zone, from making that leap of faith. Fear is what keeps you comfortable in the struggle. But comfort doesn't lead to growth. It doesn't lead to success. Fear is an illusion. It's just your mind playing tricks on you, convincing you that you're safer where you are than where you could be. But fear is a liar. You can choose to move past it. You can choose to take control. Fear shows up in many ways. It can be the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of success itself. It can even be the fear of change, of the unknown. But let's break this down. Fear is not a valid reason to stay stuck. Fear is just an obstacle, one that you can overcome with the right mindset. And when you do, you'll unlock your true potential. But it all starts with a decision. Do you want to keep letting fear control your life, or are you ready to take control? But fear isn't the only thing standing in your way. There's also the issue of self-sabotage. How often do you doubt yourself? How many times do you find yourself second-guessing your abilities, your potential, your worth? That's self-sabotage at work. Every time you question yourself, you're planting seeds of failure. You're giving yourself an excuse to back down, to quit, to stay comfortable. But here's the thing. You're not going to grow by playing it safe. You're not going to reach your dreams by doubting yourself every step of the way. It's time to uproot those self-doubts. It's time to face your inner enemy and break free from the cycle of self-sabotage. You have everything you need to succeed right now. You just need to believe it. Now let's talk about your goals. Are you all in, or are you half-heartedly working toward them, waiting for something to magically happen? The truth is, if you're not fully committed, you will never see the results you want. It's not enough to casually dream about success. You have to commit to it emotionally, mentally, and physically. Every action you take needs to align with your goal. Halfway efforts don't get you to your destination. All-in efforts do. Success doesn't care about your excuses. It cares about your commitment, your consistency, and your willingness to go all in. You're the one standing in your way, not your circumstances, not your past, not your lack of resources. You are the only thing keeping yourself from greatness. Once you own that, once you realize that your future is entirely in your hands, that's when everything changes. The world is not going to hand you success. It's time to take full ownership of your journey. Stop waiting for permission. Stop letting external factors control your fate. You are the key. When you make the decision to take full ownership of your life, you unlock your true potential. No more excuses, no more waiting. Your success starts with the decision to act, and that decision is yours. And once you make that choice, the world will open up in ways you never imagined. You've felt like you've given everything and gotten nothing in return. It's frustrating, and it's okay to admit that. You've put in the hours, made the sacrifices, and still the results aren't showing up the way you imagined. It's easy to feel like you're stuck in a loop, endlessly spinning your wheels with no way out. But listen, you're not alone in this. This feeling, it's universal. Every person who's ever achieved anything meaningful has gone through it. The difference between those who break through and those who stay stuck is not about avoiding the struggle. It's about how you deal with it. Struggle is not a sign that you're weak or that you're failing. No, it's a sign that you're pushing yourself to new limits. The battle you're fighting right now is a necessary part of your growth. Think about it. If you've never struggled, how would you know how strong you are? How would you ever learn how much you're truly capable of? And here's the thing you need to understand. Struggling doesn't mean defeat. It means you're in the process. You're in the middle of the grind. And that's something worth celebrating. There's a saying that goes, when you're going through hell, keep going. Why? Because it means you're on the way to something greater. You're building resilience, strength, and determination. If you're not struggling, you're probably not challenging yourself enough. You are not alone in this. Even the most successful people you admire, those whose stories you look up to, have faced crushing setbacks. Steve Jobs, the man who revolutionized technology, was fired from the very company he built. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in history, was cut from his high school team. Oprah, yes, Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. These stories aren't here just to inspire, they're here to remind you of one thing. Failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. It's the moment you rise, dig deep, and decide you're not done yet. It's the moment when your story starts to change. It might feel like the storm will never end. You might be drenched, battered, and exhausted from the fight. But trust me on this, the storm will pass. It always does. But you've got to keep going. Don't quit now. It's in the moments of hardship when it feels the hardest that breakthroughs happen. Stay the course. Don't look at the road behind you. Focus on the path ahead. The rainbow is coming, but you can't get there if you quit now. So embrace the journey, even the tough parts, because it's leading you to where you need to be. You've been working hard, but there's something holding you back, something inside you that keeps you stuck. It's not just about how much effort you're putting in, it's about what's going on in your mind. It's fear, it's doubt. It's the inner voice that says you're not good enough, or what if this doesn't work out? These are the invisible chains that hold you in place even when you're pushing yourself to the limit. Your fear of failure, your fear of judgment, and even your own self-doubt, they are the real culprits behind your struggle. You've been putting in the hours, yet every time you take a step forward, something pulls you back. Why? Because you're allowing fear to control you. You're letting self-doubt dictate your every move. And the truth is, fear and doubt are not the enemy. They are simply signs that you're growing. Think about it. When you step outside your comfort zone, fear is a natural reaction. It's the body's way of telling you that you're on the verge of something new, something that could change everything. So instead of running from it, lean into it, face it head on. Do the thing that scares you, because that's where your power lies. Your own thoughts are often your biggest obstacle. How many times have you procrastinated because you're unsure of the outcome? Or how many times have you settled for less than you deserve because you didn't believe you could achieve more? These are patterns of self-sabotage. You're second-guessing yourself, holding back because you're afraid of making the wrong move. But here's the reality: waiting for perfection, waiting for the right time, is just another form of self-sabotage. You're waiting for something that will never come. The key is not perfection, it's action. Every time you hesitate, every time you hold back, you lose a little more of your potential. So ask yourself, are you chasing the right goals? Are you truly passionate about what you're working toward, or are you following someone else's dream? Sometimes we get caught up in goals that are not aligned with who we really are or what we truly want. If you're struggling, maybe it's time to reevaluate. Get clear on your goals. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Make sure that the things you're striving for are things that truly matter to you, not just something you feel you should want. When your goals align with your values, the struggle becomes much more meaningful. It's not just about success, it's about fulfillment. And here's the powerful part: you are in charge of your destiny. No one else can decide your future for you. No one else can take the reins of your life. If you're tired of being stuck, it's time to step up. It's time to take control of your decisions. The moment you realize that you hold the power to change your circumstances, you unlock a whole new level of strength. This struggle, it's your power. It's your opportunity to take control and shape the life you want. The struggle is not your enemy. It's your chance to take ownership, to take the wheel, and steer yourself toward greatness. So what are you going to do about it? The choice is yours. The struggle is a part of the process. It's time to see it for what it is: a sign that you're on the path to something extraordinary. The storm will pass, but only if you stay the course, stay in the fight. Because when you do, the rewards will be more than worth it. The truth is, the reason you're struggling is not because of the market, the economy, or bad luck. It's you. That's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? But here's the reality: external circumstances only have as much power over your life as you allow them to. Sure, the world can be tough, but your biggest obstacle? It's not the economy or the people around you. It's the way you think, the choices you make, and how you respond to what life throws at you. The real root of your struggle is internal. It's the stories you tell yourself, the beliefs you hold, and the actions or inactions you take. Ask yourself, how many times have you blamed something or someone else for your lack of progress? The economy isn't doing well, I didn't have the right opportunities, I didn't have the right education. The list goes on, doesn't it? But at some point you have to face the uncomfortable truth. You are the common denominator in your struggle. If you don't take ownership of that fact, you'll remain trapped in a cycle that keeps you stuck. You are your own worst enemy. And until you can come to terms with that, nothing will change. Self-sabotage, fear of failure, and a lack of clear direction are the invisible walls holding you back. You may think you're waiting for the right moment, but that's just a delay tactic. Procrastination is self-sabotage. The perfectionism that keeps you from taking action is self-sabotage. Settling for less than you deserve is self-sabotage. You are standing in your own way. The truth is, if you don't confront your own weaknesses, they will continue to control you. It's not the outside world keeping you down. It's the internal dialogue, the fears, the self-doubt, the lack of clear purpose. Until you choose to break through those walls, they'll continue to dictate your actions and your future. Fear doesn't announce itself as an obstacle. It shows up in the form of procrastination, perfectionism, and avoiding risks. You see, fear is clever. It disguises itself. It's not always the big, loud, terrifying monster you expect. Sometimes it's the small voice that says, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, or it's not perfect yet, so I'll wait. How much of your time do you waste because you're afraid of failing? How much potential are you leaving untapped because you're too scared to take the first step? Fear will always find a way to show up, but it's not a roadblock, it's a signal. It's telling you that you're pushing boundaries, and that's where growth happens. But you can't let fear keep you from taking action. You can't let it dictate your life. The key to breaking through this cycle is self-awareness. The moment you take full responsibility for your actions and recognize the root of your struggle, you unlock your potential. It's about facing the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might feel. Once you're aware of the fear and doubt that's holding you back, you can take action. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. Once you understand what's going on inside of you, you can begin to change your response, your actions, and your outcomes. Change begins with you. It's not some distant external event. It's a shift in your thinking, in your attitude, and in your decisions. It's a daily practice of showing up, being honest with yourself, and taking control. Recognizing the problem is the first step toward conquering it. Once you're aware, you can change. And that change, it's the key to unlocking everything you've been fighting for. Steve Jobs once said that the greatest challenges he faced were internal. He had to confront his own doubts and weaknesses before he could change the world. Even the man who built Apple had moments where he doubted his abilities, where he faced the same internal struggles you're dealing with right now. But the difference is, he didn't let those struggles define him. He faced them head-on, recognized them for what they were, and pushed forward anyway. Let this be your wake-up call. If you're ready to break free from the struggle, the first place to look is within. You've got everything you need to succeed, but it's time to confront those internal obstacles, fear, self-doubt, and hesitation, and push through them. Only then will you see the breakthrough you've been waiting for. You are where you are because of the way you think. Change your thoughts and you'll change your life. Let that sink in for a moment. The reality you're experiencing right now, every success and every failure, is shaped by the mindset you've been holding on to. If you're not where you want to be, it's because your thinking is limiting you. You might not want to hear that, but it's the truth. The way you think about your abilities, the world, and your future is determining everything you're getting from life right now. What do you believe is possible for you? Think about that question for a moment. The answer you come up with is your limit. If you think you can't achieve something, you won't. If you think you're not good enough, that belief will hold you back from even trying. But if you change that mindset, if you believe with everything in you that you have what it takes, you'll start seeing the world open up to you in ways you never imagined. The first step to a new future is deciding to think differently. Those with a fixed mindset believe their abilities are set, that their intelligence, their skills, their potential are all locked in place. They face challenges with fear because failure is seen as proof that they're not good enough. But people with a growth mindset, they thrive in adversity. They know that failure isn't final, it's just feedback. Failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. Oprah Winfrey didn't become successful because things were easy. She succeeded because she believed in her ability to grow even through immense hardship. She was told no countless times. She was ridiculed, underestimated, and rejected. But Oprah didn't see those setbacks as the end. She saw them as lessons. And that's the power of a growth mindset. It doesn't just survive failure, it learns from it, adapts, and grows stronger. Your mind is a garden. If you plant weeds, that's all you'll harvest. But if you plant seeds of belief, persistence, and resilience, you'll grow something extraordinary. Your mind is your most powerful tool. It can be your greatest ally, or it can be your worst enemy. What you plant in it, your beliefs, your thoughts, your attitudes, will determine what you harvest in your life. Here's the thing, most people underestimate the power of their own minds. They let their thoughts run wild, letting negativity, doubt, and fear take over. But imagine if you could control that garden. Imagine if you only planted seeds that would lead to growth, success, and joy. What would that do for your life? Your mind is the foundation of your success or your failure. What you believe shapes what you achieve. So ask yourself, what seeds are you planting today? What's growing in your mind? Are they seeds of possibility or are they weeds of self-doubt? Changing your mindset is not a one-time event, it's a daily practice. It's not going to happen overnight, but you can begin the shift right now. Start with affirmations. Tell yourself every day that you are capable, that you are strong, that you are worthy of success. Visualize your future as you want it to be, not as it currently is. And whenever you find yourself focusing on your limitations, stop. Shift your focus to your growth, to what you're learning, and to the steps you can take right now to move forward. Make it a habit to challenge your doubts with action. Every time you feel fear or uncertainty, take a step anyway. When you fall, get back up and keep going. Over time, this practice will change the way you see the world. You'll start to see every challenge as an opportunity and every failure as a lesson. That's how you develop a growth mindset, and that's how you unlock your potential. You are the architect of your own future. Every time you face a challenge, remember it's not about what you're facing, but how you choose to face it. The mental shift that will change everything is realizing that your thoughts have power, and by shifting them, you can shift your entire life. Don't wait for the world to change. Change your mind and watch how the world changes around you. You hold the key to your destiny. Now it's time to unlock it. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and you're running it every single day. Let that sink in for a moment. We live in a world where we're constantly fed the idea that success comes quickly, that we can hit it big with one big move or a stroke of luck. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. Success isn't about waiting for a miracle or finding a shortcut. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and committing to the long game. The real winners are not the ones who hit it big overnight. The real winners are the ones who keep going even when it's hard, when the results aren't immediate, and when doubt starts to creep in. They know that the key to winning is consistency. They don't need a magic moment. They need the persistence to keep pushing forward every day. Discipline and consistency are the two keys to unlocking your full potential. These two forces are the foundation of every success story you've ever heard. Without them, talent means nothing. Without them, hard work is wasted. Without them, your dreams remain just that, dreams. Think about it. No matter what goal you're chasing, whether it's personal, financial, or professional, these two qualities, discipline and consistency, will determine whether you succeed or fail. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't show up every day, you'll never reach your true potential. So let me ask you, how committed are you? Are you putting in the effort every day, or are you waiting for the perfect moment to start? If you truly want to succeed, it's time to face the fact that success is built on a foundation of small, consistent efforts. You don't build muscle by lifting weights once and expecting results. No, you build muscle by showing up and putting in the work day after day, rep after rep. The same principle applies to success. The small, steady actions you take each day compound into something extraordinary. Every time you take one step forward, even if it's a small one, you're moving closer to your goal. But if you give up because you don't see immediate results, you'll never see how far you could have gone. If you stop now, you might never know what you were capable of. But if you keep going, even when it's tough, you'll never have to wonder about the heights you could reach. The difference between success and failure is your willingness to continue when you don't feel like it. I'm not saying it's easy, it's hard. There are days when you'll feel like quitting, when you'll want to throw in the towel. But those are the moments that matter the most. Those are the moments that define you. Let me tell you something. J.K. Rowling was rejected by publishers 12 times before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. 12 times. Think about that. She could have given up, but she didn't. She kept writing, kept believing in her story, and eventually the world saw her greatness. And it's not just her. Elon Musk faced countless setbacks with SpaceX, failed rocket launches, financial struggles, doubts from everyone around him. But he didn't quit. He kept going, one failure after another, until he built the company that's revolutionizing space travel. Success doesn't happen because someone gets lucky. It happens because someone refuses to quit, even when the world tells them to. It happens because someone has the discipline to keep going day in and day out, even when the road is long and the end seems far away. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is your ability to stick with it, even when it's tough. Success isn't about what you do on your best days. It's about what you do every day. Your ability to show up, put in the work, and keep moving forward even when you don't feel like it, that's what makes the difference. So I want you to reflect on this. When was the last time you truly committed to something fully and didn't give up halfway? When was the last time you made a decision and stuck to it, no matter what? Because that's the level of commitment you need if you're going to get where you want to go. The moment you make the decision to stay disciplined, to keep showing up, that's when everything begins to change. That's when the doors start opening, the obstacles start clearing, and success starts coming your way. But it all begins with you, right now, choosing to stay consistent, even when it's tough. Choose to be disciplined, choose to keep going, and watch how your life transforms. Fear is not your enemy, it's your signal to move forward. Let that sink in for a moment. Too often, we see fear as a roadblock, something to avoid or shy away from. But fear is actually a sign that you're on the right path. It means you're stretching beyond your comfort zone, pushing into new territory. Every great achievement, every breakthrough in human history came with a moment of fear. Fear is not the problem, it's how you respond to it. When you feel fear rising, that's your cue. It's the universe telling you that you're about to make a meaningful change. So don't retreat from fear, lean into it. Now let's get something straight. If you let fear control you, it will paralyze your potential. Let that sink in. Fear doesn't just hold you back in the moment. It keeps you stuck in a life that's less than you deserve. It will keep you from pursuing your dreams, from taking that chance, from stepping into the future you know you're meant for. Fear is a liar. It convinces you that you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that you'll fail. But here's the truth. Fear doesn't disappear by ignoring it. It grows stronger. The more you avoid it, the bigger it gets. And eventually, it will rule your life, controlling every decision you make until you're left wondering what could have been. If you let fear dominate your thinking, you're allowing it to dictate your life. Imagine that. You're handing over your future to something that's not even real. It's just an emotion, an idea in your mind, but you have the power to confront it. You have the ability to control it, not the other way around. Let me tell you something. Fear is like a shadow. It's only as big as you make it. In the dark, shadows can seem terrifying. They loom large, make you feel like you're in danger. But when you bring light into the situation, you realize those shadows are just illusions. They're not as big or as threatening as they seem. That's what fear does. It distorts your reality. It makes obstacles look like mountains when they're really just small hills. When you look fear in the eye, when you expose it to the light of day, it shrinks down to its true size. So bring your fears into the light. Stop letting them loom over you. Face them, look them in the eye, and watch how they lose their power. Every time you let fear win, you lose a piece of your future. Fear steals your opportunities. It robs you of your potential. It keeps you stuck in the same place, day after day, while the life you want slips further and further away. Think about that for a second. Fear is costing you more than you think. It's taking away the chances for growth, the moments of joy, and the accomplishments that are waiting for you just on the other side. Don't let it control you. Don't let fear decide what you're capable of. Now, I want you to reflect on something. How many times have you let fear make your decisions for you? How many moments have you passed up because fear whispered in your ear, "You can't do it," or "It's too risky"? I guarantee you that every time you made a decision based on fear, you lost an opportunity. Fear steals your chances, your momentum, and ultimately, your future. But here's the good news. Fear doesn't have to control you. You can take back the power. The only way to crush fear is to face it, move through it, and keep going. That's it. It's that simple. When fear shows up, don't run from it. Confront it head on and keep moving forward anyway. Here's how you do it. First, identify the fear. What exactly are you afraid of? Name it, call it out. Don't let it hide in the shadows. Next, challenge the worst-case scenario. What's the absolute worst thing that could happen? In most cases, you'll realize that the consequences aren't as catastrophic as fear wants you to believe. Then take the first step. You don't need to tackle the whole mountain in one go. Just take one step in the right direction, and then do it again tomorrow. Keep taking steps, even if they're small ones. The key is consistency. The more you face your fears, the less power they have over you. The more you take action despite fear, the more you'll grow. And eventually you'll look back and realize that fear, which once controlled you, no longer has any hold on your life. So let me ask you one last question. How much longer are you going to let fear control your future? How much longer will you wait before taking that first step, before embracing the discomfort, before stepping into the life you deserve? It's time to stop running from fear and start running toward the life you want. The power is in your hands. The only thing standing between you and your future is fear, and it's time to face it. Now go, take that first step, face your fears, and keep moving forward. You cannot do it alone. Let that truth sink in. The road to success isn't a solo journey. You need people who will push you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. This is not about weakness, it's about strength. It's about knowing that growth happens faster and more fully when you have the right support system in place. Success doesn't thrive in a vacuum. It thrives when you have the right people around you. People who are there not just to cheer you on, but to challenge you to do better, to be better every single day. When you try to go at it alone, you limit your potential. You close yourself off to the insights, the feedback, and the growth that come from others. Greatness isn't achieved in isolation. The champions, the trailblazers, the innovators, these people didn't get where they are by keeping to themselves. They sought out those who held them to a higher standard. They surrounded themselves with people who believed in them. Yes, but also pushed them past their limits. You need that too. Don't let pride or stubbornness hold you back from this crucial part of the journey. Accountability is like having a mirror. Think about it. When you look in the mirror, you see yourself as you truly are. There's no hiding. Accountability is exactly the same. It forces you to face the truth about where you are and where you could be. When you have someone holding you accountable, you get an external perspective on your growth, one that's not clouded by your own biases or self-deception. Sometimes you can't see your own progress. You might feel like you're stuck or not moving fast enough, but others can see it. They see your potential, even when you can't. And that's what accountability does. It helps you see yourself clearly. It reveals the gaps, the blind spots, the areas where you're not pushing hard enough. It challenges you to rise to the occasion, not just for the sake of others, but for your own growth. Without accountability, it's easy to slip into complacency, to deceive yourself into thinking you're doing more than you really are. But with accountability, you face the truth. It's a mirror that reflects back your true potential. And sometimes the hardest thing is facing what you see in that mirror. But that's how you grow. Here's the tough love. If you surround yourself with people who let you off easy, you will never grow. Let me be clear. If you're comfortable in your relationships, your environment, your circle, you're likely stagnating. Growth happens when you're pushed out of your comfort zone, when you're challenged to be more than you were yesterday. If everyone around you is content with where they are and they never ask you to be better, you'll never break through to greatness. Think about the people in your life right now. Are they pushing you? Are they challenging you to rise above your excuses? Are they forcing you to take responsibility for your actions and your dreams? If not, it's time to rethink your circle. If you want to grow, you need to be surrounded by people who demand more from you. They're the ones who will help you reach the next level. They're the ones who will help you see what you're truly capable of. Without them, you'll remain where you are. Comfortable, yes, but also stuck. Your environment is your training ground. The people you spend the most time with shape who you become. Your circle, your inner circle, can either fuel your fire or put it out. You have to choose carefully who you allow into that space. Who you surround yourself with matters more than you think. If you want to succeed, you need to be in an environment that challenges you, that inspires you, that pushes you. That's the kind of environment that will set you up for success. When you walk into a gym, you know it's a place for growth. The same is true for your personal environment. Is your circle a place where you can grow, or is it a place where your dreams go to die? Your environment either fuels your fire or it snuffs it out. If the people around you don't inspire you to do better, if they don't demand more of you, you're in the wrong environment. It's time to make a change. Look around you right now. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they pushing you to be better, or are they holding you back? Ask yourself this: are the people in your life lifting you up, or are they weighing you down? Are they encouraging you to reach for your highest potential, or are they letting you settle for less? These questions are crucial. You can't afford to waste time with people who aren't going to push you to be the best version of yourself. If the people around you aren't challenging you, then you need to find new people. It's that simple. It's time to seek out mentors, coaches, or even mastermind groups. People who will hold you accountable, not just for the things you do right, but for the things you need to improve. An accountability partner will be your mirror. They'll reflect back to you your potential, your progress, and your weaknesses. They won't let you slide. They'll push you when you feel weak. They'll remind you of your potential when you doubt it. They'll celebrate your victories and help you learn from your failures. Find people who will not just support you, but challenge you to grow. They'll be the ones who help you see the things you can't see yourself. Whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a group of like-minded individuals, you need people who are going to help you rise higher. Without accountability, your potential will remain dormant. Let me tell you, your dreams, your goals, and your future are all at risk. If you keep going at it alone, you'll only get so far. But if you bring others into your journey, if you let them hold you accountable, you will unlock a power in yourself you never knew existed. Accountability is the key to your growth. It's the difference between settling for good enough and pushing for greatness. You'll only reach your highest potential when you allow others to hold you accountable. It's time to stop pretending you can do it all alone. It's time to invite others into your journey and let them help you get to the next level. The only person holding you back is you. Let that sink in. No one else. Not your circumstances. Not the people around you, not even your past. It's all in your hands. Every decision you make, every step you take is up to you. Taking full responsibility for your actions is the first step toward truly controlling your life. It's not about blaming anyone else for where you are right now. It's about owning your journey, owning your choices, and accepting that the path you're walking is the one you've created. It's easy to point fingers, to say I'd be successful if only I had more time, or if only I had better resources. But let me tell you something, no more excuses. The moment you take responsibility for where you are and where you want to be, you will step into your power. It's time to step up and own your path. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. The person you need is already inside of you. The change you've been waiting for won't come from someone else. It won't come from a job opportunity or a perfect relationship or a mentor to guide you. It starts with you. We've all been there, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect person, the perfect situation. We think that once everything aligns, then we'll take action. But the truth is, the only person who can make things happen is you. How many times have you waited for the perfect moment or the perfect person to come into your life? How many times have you looked around for someone to do it for you? It's time to face the truth. You are your own hero. The power to change your life is within you. It always has been. Now it's time to stop waiting and start moving forward. You are the captain of your ship. If you don't steer it, someone else will. Life is not a journey where you sit back and let things happen to you. No, you are the one in charge of where you're going, and if you let others decide for you, you will end up wherever they want you to be, not where you want to go. Think about it. When you're on a ship, you have to navigate through rough waters, unpredictable storms, and unknown territories. It's not easy. But you know what? You're the captain of your life. You don't get to blame the waves, the wind, or the storms for your lack of progress. You get to decide how you steer your ship. Take Elon Musk, for example. This man faced countless setbacks, skepticism, and failures. But instead of letting external circumstances dictate his fate, he took control. He steered his ship through the most challenging waters imaginable. Look where he is now. You have the power to navigate your own journey, no matter how rough it gets, but you need to take control. The captain of your ship is you, and you must be willing to steer it. When are you going to stop blaming your circumstances and start taking charge? Think about the excuses you make. I don't have enough time. I don't have the resources. It's too hard. But here's the cold, hard truth. Those excuses are keeping you stuck. They're holding you in place while your future passes you by. Now, I'm not saying that life doesn't throw challenges your way. It does. But you can't let those challenges define you. You can't let them keep you from moving forward. The only way to break free from these excuses is to stop blaming everything and everyone else for where you are and start taking action. You have the power to choose. You always have. Identify one area of your life right now where you've been making excuses. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your personal relationships. Where have you been avoiding responsibility? Stop letting those excuses control you. It's time to take immediate action and reclaim your power. Once you take ownership of your journey, there is no limit to what you can achieve. When you truly own your life, you unlock your full potential. There is a freedom and full responsibility that's unlike anything else. When you stop blaming, when you stop making excuses, and when you take full control, everything changes. The moment you decide that your life is in your hands and not anyone else's, that's when the game changes. Your mindset shifts. Your actions become intentional. Every move you make is a step toward the life you want to create. There's no more waiting. No more relying on external circumstances to change your reality. You are the one who creates it. Taking ownership is not just about controlling your path. It's about unlocking everything that you're capable of. You want success? You want fulfillment? You want freedom? It all starts with taking responsibility for the life you're building. No one else can do it for you. But the moment you take charge, you'll discover just how much power you truly have. Struggling is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of growth and progress. Let me tell you something. You are not failing when things get hard. You're learning, you're evolving. Struggles are simply the tests that life puts in front of you to see how badly you want it. Every obstacle you face is a chance to grow stronger, smarter, more resilient. Everyone goes through challenges. Everyone. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is their response to those struggles. It's not about avoiding difficulties, it's about pushing through them. Here's the truth, you've been given everything you need to succeed. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to keep going. You have the strength to overcome, the will to keep moving forward. So when you feel like quitting, remember, it's the struggle that's shaping you. Don't stop now, keep going. It's time to stop waiting for change. It's time to become the change. We all have this habit of waiting for the perfect moment. But let me ask you, when is the perfect time? When will the stars align? When will everything be in place for you to finally take action? I'll tell you, it will never come. The perfect time to start is now. Stop waiting for something outside of you to shift. The change you're seeking starts with you, today. It starts the moment you decide to take that first step. It doesn't have to be big, just a step, then another. You don't need all the answers right now, you just need to begin. No more procrastination, no more excuses. The time to act is right now. If you're still struggling, don't give up. It's just the beginning. That's right, the struggles you're facing right now are just the opening chapters of your success story. You're closer than you think. Every challenge you face is pushing you one step closer to the breakthrough you've been working for. You have to remember, struggles don't define you, they refine you. They forge you into the person capable of handling everything you dream of. Don't look at the tough times as setbacks. Look at them as the fire that is shaping you into the strongest, most resilient version of yourself. You are not defeated by the struggle, you are forged by it. Get out there, make the change, and start living the life you were meant for. It's time to step into your power. It's time to stop watching from the sidelines and start playing the game. The life you want, the success you crave, it's all within your reach. The only thing standing in your way is your willingness to take action. You've got what it takes. The only question is, will you take the first step? Will you rise to the challenge and own your journey? I believe in you. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself. Lead by example. Take charge of your life. Your best life starts now.